Hey Fisherman, Aqua, Duelist here, and today I'm giving you guys an update to my Phantasm Spiral deck. Now, honestly, it's been quite a long time since I've done a deck profile on this, and this deck has honestly only gotten better as time went on. It's just gotten loads of generic support here and there, which is really freaking nice. Whew, man. So, it's just really awesome to see, just over the years, so much of this deck can, utilize, come out. And guys, if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and put that subscribe button, because a lot of you guys who watch my videos aren't subscribed. It really helps the channel. We're going to go ahead and get into this. So, first of all, for the monsters, I'm playing 3 copies of Giant Red Sea Snake, and then for my second vanilla, I'm playing 3 copies of 7-color fish. I'm going with this lineup just off of pure nostalgia. I have lots of great memories playing these two back in the day. Because I'm a very old school player. I've been playing the game since it came out, so I have very fond memories of these cards. So, now I think the best lineup as far as monsters go is actually playing 3 Megalomasher X with 3, I think it's Kabutsol. Power editing, we'll throw it up on screen so you can see what it's like. It's basically a level 4 water dinosaur, just like Megalomasher, 1700 attack, I think. Looks like a giant purplish pink hippo dino sneezing. Playing, I think, 3 of those, the 3 Megalos with Fossil Dig is the best way to go, because I did do Fossil Dig with just Megalo, and I kept seeing my Megalos before on Fossil Digs. I hated that. My Fossil Digs were essentially dead in deck. It just sucked. So yeah, I think doing that lineup in particular is the best way, because you have access. I think with those you get the best access to extra deck monsters, because you get Lagia, Dolka, you get the water exclusive XCs. So yeah, that's like really cool. If you play 1-for-1, I'm sorry, not 1-for-1. 1-for-1. Sorry. There's actually enough water monsters to basically play 6, and they're all different attributes, level 4 vanilla. So yeah, that's pretty cool. For my 2 effect monsters, I'm playing 2 copies of Tengi Spirit Hanada. I think I said that right. It's Nahada, sorry. Mixed up the N and the H. So, with this, it's basically a reverse honest for normals. The opponent's monster in battle loses 1500 attacks, so that's kind of cool. Something cool with this is, I wish the water one was, like the reverse honest, because then, you could essentially special summon it and then make a rank, one of the water rank 4s. But with these, if you control a normal monster, you can essentially special summon it, and you can make like the Link 1 Tengi, get a free body right there, and then banish it from the grave for the reverse honest effect. That's a cool little idea right there. Just something I thought I'd point out. Tengis are not bad. They're pretty interesting. So now for spells, gotta play 3 copies of Pacifist, the Spiral City. This is the Heart and Soul deck. You want to see this, your opening hands. Otherwise, you're not going to have the best time without it. So with this, if you normal summon or special summon a normal monster, specifically a normal monster, not a non-effect monster, not like an extra deck monster with no effect. That's a non-effect monster. Different thing entirely, guys. Just throwing it out there, because people don't know the difference. You get a Phantasmal Trapper spell from deck to hand. Now, has a second effect where if your opponent does anything, pretty much, you get a token. And the token's a level 8 water worm, and with 2000 attack, 2000 defense. Now, as long as you don't control a token, your opponent does anything, you get a token. So, you could essentially, your opponent does something, get that token, you could get rid of it, like let's say a card, a cost for cards tripping a worm monster or something, or just basically you remove that token, you get another one as long as your opponent is playing the game. So this game basically gives you, or this card basically gives you a token if your opponent tries to play the game that you can do quite a bit of good stuff with. Now with that, gotta play the one terraforming. I love that ulti so much. And you gotta play the one metaverse. Just for consistency. Like I said, you want to see this opening hand. Otherwise, you're not gonna have the best time with this deck. So now, moving on for consistency. Playing 3 copies of Pot of Duality. Now, with this card, I have a love and hate relationship with it, but in this deck, it's stupidly good. That locking you out of special summoning does not matter, because the only special summon you're mostly going to be doing is on your opponent's turn with, getting that free token, because they decide they want to play the game, and they're not afraid, but they should be. And you essentially, get to look at the next 3 cards and add 1 to hand, so that's pretty good. It's basically half, well, not even half, it's basically cheap pod prosperity, I guess, if y'all really want to say it. Next up, playing 2 copies of Painful Decision here. Now, if I was playing Kabutsol and Megalomasher, I would drop these, play Fossil Digs, and I would cut a card for a 3rd Fossil Dig, most likely. But this basically just kind of, it's like 8. This is basically like an 8th copy, or 7/8 copy of my vanillas. Send 1 from deck to grave, add a copy from deck to hand. So yeah, I kind of like it. Next up for my last card for that consistency is Card Demise. It's at 1. Card needs to come back to 3. It's too good. No cards in the hand, draw 3. That's what it does. And then you just set those cards because, you don't want them to go to the grave. So yeah. Now this next card is why I'm not playing Pot of Extravagance. It's the last spell I play, Heatwave. This Pot of Extravagance clashes with this card. The reason why is because this has to be activated at the start of your main phase 1. Pot of Extravagance has to be the first card you activate, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there's some clashing right there. I prefer this. This you activate at the start of your main phase until your next turn. Neither player can normal or special summon effect monsters. So this effectively just your opponent can't do crap for a turn. What's kind of cool is the fact that anytime I played this, my opponent didn't even bother doing anything, like as far as popping my back row even. Like I've just never had that happen. You activate this, your opponent just basically just like, okay, screw it, they don't care for the turn. And so they don't do anything. So, it basically ensures all your traps, are safe and kind of go live in a sense. And that's it for spells. Now moving on to traps. For the Phantasm Spiral traps, because we don't play any of the spells, play 3 copies of Phantasm Spiral Battle. If you control the field spell, you can activate any of this and the other Phantasm trap from your hand, like a hand trap, so that's pretty cool. Just want to clarify that real quick. This basically targets and destroys an opponent's monster if you control a normal monster, so yeah. Next up, 3 copies of Phantasmal Spiral Power. This is kind of like a reverse honest as well. Opponent's monster loses 1,000 attack and defense. Effects are negated. You have the field spell, you can use it as a hand trap, so that's pretty cool. Now, the next card I'm playing is 3 copies of Fist the Unrivaled Tangy. This is basically Effect negation, basically trap or spell or monster effect. Negates the activation, if I'm correct. Yeah, negate the activation, and then if your opponent destroys it, you can special summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck, so that's pretty cool. Just throwing that out there. This card's stupidly good. And then, next up, we're playing 3 copies of Underdog. This card, stupidly good in this deck. It's basically a full-time skill drain for your deck, because your monsters don't do crap. Your opponent's monsters are the only, ones that do anything, unless you manage to get an extra deck monster out. If you do, that's kind of cool. So yeah, I honestly think this is the only deck it really works in, unless you're playing like Beatdown Charmers or Familiar Possessed. Because that's kind of what they really want to do. The Familiar Possessed don't do anything. They're basically, gaining attack and crap from other cards. So this is like one of the few decks this card really works in. So it's really awesome to, actually be able to play it. And with that, I do want to share the 1 copy skill drain. You're basically playing 4 skill drains in this deck, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's awesome. First in Spice, playing 3 copies of Waterfall of Dragon Soul. Since I'm deciding to not play Pot of Extravagance, and I want to play Heat Wave over that, this is essentially a draw card. With this, once it's activated, I can add a worm monster from deck to hand, so I can essentially grab my Techni Spirit Nahata and basically have that reverse honest, or I contribute a worm monster and draw cards up to the number of worm monsters I tributed plus 1, so I can essentially tribute a token, draw 2. So that's pretty freaking cool. And in fact, like this, I don't think this is once per turn actually, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's not once per turn, so that's pretty cool. If you happen to open multiples, you can essentially go plus 2 in card economy. You use 2 cards, you draw 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So yeah, for those who don't understand card economy, right there. So my last card. 2 copies of Sea Stealth Attack. With this, if you have a field spell in your grave, you activate it, you can get it back because your field spell is treated as Umi. So that's pretty nice. Kind of recycles that in a sense. And while it's on the field, while Umi's on the field, you can banish a water monster you control, and your opponent can't destroy your spells and stuff, so that's pretty cool. The token actually doesn't come back on that effect, because in the effect it says that the monster comes back during, I think, like it's the end phase. But going off the rulings, this actually doesn't bring the token back. I don't know why I didn't make the ruling. I'm just letting y'all know, because so many people just don't understand, and they're just like, oh yeah, I managed to get a field of like 3 tokens. Like, no, you can't do that. You're actually cheating, so don't be a scrub. And then other effect is if a level 5 or higher water monster you control battles a opponent's monster, you just destroy it. So that actually happens like, I think it's like damage step or I can't remember if it's like damage calculation, but basically your token attacks something, you don't take the damage, and it just gets destroyed. So that's pretty freaking cool right there. So this turns your token into just monster removal. If your opponent just is stupid, doesn't understand, they just keep attacking the token, they lose their shit. So, if they're that dumb, well, you just free win. Essentially what that is. Now for the extra deck, I'm not using a full extra deck here. I'm just showing you guys some options, because your extra deck doesn't matter really. The only card that truly matters is this. If you're playing Fist the Unrivaled Tengi, for each copy, you play one of these. If your opponent, just pops multiples of it, you essentially get more of these out. And this is the best target for Fist the Unrivaled Tengi, or Fist of the Unrivaled Tangy. It's the strongest non-effects extra deck monster in the game, so that's pretty freaking cool. Just dropping the Blue Eyes on your Blue Eyes Ultimate on your opponent, that's just downright hilarious. Couple cards I do want to show, just as options. Obviously, Bahamut with Toad. That's like an option. So you have number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. Long ass name. With this, it's basically caught like a reverse honest effect. If any of your monsters do battle, detach opponent's monsters, lose 1,000 attack and defense. And if it gets destroyed, you float into another monster from your graveyard. And then if you're playing, like I said, the two water dinos, you have access to these, and you also have access to Dolka and Logia, so that's like, really good right there. Basically, just fill your extra deck up with like the best rank 4s for your area. That's just kind of the one thing I can say. And then, obviously, you definitely play 3 copies of that. That's like the only card I'd say that's really just required off the bat. If you want to be spicy, you play Instant Fusion. Could play Sea Monster Theseus. Go for like a level 9 Synchro. Or you could play Rare Fish. And essentially, make a rank 4. You could even play, Retort Fusion if you really want to. And, you can make this and go into a rank 4. That's also an option. I just wanted to throw that kind of out there. So, yeah. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and harpoon that subscribe button. We've got some more awesome content on the way, guys. Go ahead and harpoon that like button if you like this video. Comment any comments y'all have. Link in the description down below to my Instagram. And I will see y'all in the next video, guys.